Hello friends, welcome to yet another episode in Dr. Poonam's vlog, and today we'll carry forward the last time's lecture on constipation. So as promised, I'm coming up with the other modalities in treatment of constipation. So last time I explained to you what is constipation and what are the red signals that you should be watching for. So if you have not watched that, please see that in my constipation playlist. So I'll be placing a link somewhere here, but see it after the end of this video. And once you see those videos, don't forget to see this video as a part 2. So that's why I have named this as part 2. Now, after you know that this is a functional constipation, it is important to do the management of this constipation. So in this management also I'll be breaking into small pieces the information, so that it's not a big dose for you. You can see that maybe 8 minutes or 10 minutes video for one day, and try to use the information that I'm giving in one video so that you can treat the constipation. Now definitely role of pediatrician will be always there, because we have to decide with this constipation how it will be treated, the counseling of the patient, the adherence of the patient to the treatment. All this has to be looked into. But remember one thing, before we start constipation, prevention is always important, and this prevention starts from the time you wean the baby. So weaning the baby has to be really good, and I think I will cover up that topic in some other video. Here today, as per the request, I am making video series on constipation, and today we will see what are the treatment modalities in the constipation. So the first one is patient education, or in our case it is parent education. As I have said in many of my previous videos here or even on the IGTV, that your eye sees what the mind knows, okay, and you are ready to follow certain things if your mind knows why you have to follow it. So there is always what, where, why and how for every action that you do, and learn to know those what, where, how, so that you adhere to your action. So now first is the parent education. Second one will be the disinfection, that is how you disinfect. Partially I have done this in my videos for use of suppository. You can go through them. I'll put the link somewhere on top, okay. The third is the maintenance phase, that is how you are going to maintain the treatment, and the fourth one is the follow-up of the treatment. So these are the 4 broad things under which these videos will be divided, and today definitely I'll be going through only one thing, that is the parent education. And I'll be touching brief upon some other things, but I will not go completely into this topic, because if I can finish this topic within one video, but it won't be of any practical use to you. I want that when I talk about a thing, you can use it in your personal life, in your daily life, and you get at least 10% of benefit. If you get that, I would say yes, I'm successful. And if you get that, please don't forget to comment in the comment section. Okay, so coming to parent education, first and foremost you should know that why there is constipation, which I have told. Second thing, you should know what happens in the intestine when there is constipation. So it is very important for the child, if the child can understand, like a child who is 4, 5, 6 years old, if they can understand what we are telling them, those children, and for the parents to understand what changes this constipation is making in the child's body. The changes start when it is chronic constipation. For acute constipation, as I have said in the last lectures, that is constipation which is just there for 2 weeks plus, and chronic is that constipation which is there for 8 weeks, that is more than 2 months, okay. So if it is acute constipation, then not much of changes happen in the body, but if it is chronic constipation, a lot of changes happen in the body, which take time to overcome that. It's like, imagine a person is going to the gym to make body, okay. Now will he get this biceps and triceps and all the muscles in the thigh and the abs within 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 month? How much? He will minimum take 3 to 6 months to have a proper muscle building with the regular things. I'm not talking about those with the injections and the magic products, okay. With a proper exercise, that person, okay, he or she will take minimum 3 to 6 months to start developing or to develop the muscles completely. Okay, now take this patient or this person who has developed muscles. For some reason he leaves that gym. Will those muscles just disappear within 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 month? No, it will take some time, and over time it will go off. So maybe say another 3 to 6 months. So how much does that make up to? As per our calculation, it already makes up from 6 months to 1 year for the whole process of forming the muscles and then again losing them. Okay, now why I'm telling you these exercises, because this is the easiest way you can understand, I feel, and this is the same way that I explain in my clinic. So we have these muscles. Now these muscles, what you can see here and your biceps, are called voluntary muscles. That is, you can move them the way you want, you can shuffle them around. So when you feel yes, I should say bye, you're saying bye. So these are voluntary muscles. But there are something known as involuntary muscles in our body. Okay, so the voluntary muscles, like when you sleep, they don't work anymore, they are just resting. Involuntary muscles are something which do not act according to your whims and fancies, but they have a rhythm that they follow continuously 24/7. Example, your heart. Does the heart take rest? No. You know what will happen if the heart take rest, okay? Same with the intestine. Intestine is a smooth muscle, and it is trained to push the things which are therein. So like it will go on pushing, milking the things what are inside it, okay. And that is what helps the transit of the items that we eat, the food items, the nutrients that we eat. It helps in transiting the bulk of those nutrients which finally form the waste product, okay, the stools. It helps in pushing that bulk from the small intestine to the big intestine, the large intestine, and then pass it on outwards. Now when it is used to do this milking or this contraction on a normally formed stools, the muscles are normal. They do not undergo any process called hypertrophy or becoming a little bit bulky. They don't undergo any of this process. Now remember the example of the muscles. I am just drawing this, extrapolating it to the smooth muscle, because that is the way you will understand it easily. Now again, imagine a person is doing biceps with the 5 kgs, then he increase it to 10 kg, 15 kg, those dumbbells that you take in the hand I'm talking about, okay, then 20 kg. So gradually he is going on increasing the resistance against which he is working his muscles, and definitely his muscles are going to be that toned as the amount of weight goes on increasing, okay. A lady will increase only 2 to 3 kilos, but a jumbo, banjo, whoever will lift 20 kilos, 30 kilos, okay. So accordingly their muscle strength will be increasing here in the biceps. Now go back to those intestine which were used to pump on a smooth, soft motions. Now because of constipation, these same intestine have to pump or contract on a harder motion to push it in front. Hard, push it, okay. Now that same process of building the muscle, what we call hypertrophy, okay, so that goes on. There is little bit of that muscles understand, they have a memory, though they don't become fat like the way the biceps become, okay. The muscles understand, yes, I am supposed to pump or I am supposed to contract only when the stools are this hard, okay. And it's a cycle, like the more the stools stay in your intestine, especially the large intestine, which is its function is to extract water from the stool so that the body gets water. So the intestine extracts more water from that stool which is there in the intestine. Again the stool becomes more harder, the intestine has to pump more harder to push it out, okay. And then again it will remain for a longer time, then more water will be absorbed from it. So this goes on till that stool becomes very hard, okay. And this is the time that the child is not able to pass the motions out because it is hard, there is no much water in it, the intestine is not able to push it properly, there is no proper lubrication for it to push out properly because again there is no much water, okay. So you see how everything works up, okay. So that's why in the diet section we'll be coming up with the water, what food and everything will be coming up in the diet. So this is basic thing. Why I'm telling you this is because the whole treatment depends upon understanding this. What happens is when we ask a parent to do the treatment, the first question that comes to their mind is, will this treatment cause any addiction to the baby? Will the child be addicted to the medicine? Can I just stop the medicine soon after the baby is fine? And irrespective of whether we tell them no, continue it for 3 months, 6 months or 1 year, maximum parents, 90% will stop using the medicine by themselves or by watching some YouTube video or by watching some other gyanars, I call, okay. There are many gyanars who are giving a lot of gyan. So they will just stop taking the medication and then there is a rebound. So the same process will go on increasing, go on repeating itself, and then they get fed up and then they will say no, this treatment has no use, the child is still the same. Wherein the truth is that you have not continued the treatment for the recommended amount of duration. As I said, it will take 3 months to 6 months or maybe even 1 year for your treatment. And believe me, none of these medicines which your doctor will prescribe, okay, will give rise to any problem. They are not habit forming. None of these medicines are fully absorbed in the body because their main action is to see that the stool forms the bulk, more water is retained in the intestine so that it can throw out the stuff. So this is about parent education. I think I have already crossed almost 10 minutes while making this video, so maybe with edit it should come down to 10 minutes or so. The rest, that is, this is about the parent education. Here I just wanted you to know how the process goes, wherein the intestine will change and we have to wait for that intestine to come back to normal during our treatment phase, and not just that, you know, the stools have to become soft. So when is our treatment successful? The treatment is successful when the child who is otherwise passing less than 3 stools per week starts passing more than 3 stools per week, or has less than 2 times or no fecal soiling accidents in 1 month. Now what is meant by that is when there is constipation, there is something known as overflowing. That is, you know, child will hold on to the stool to such a time that the intestine itself is not able to hold on to it more and it just gives up, and then the child soils his undergarments instead of going to the toilet. There are other factors also here, that is the fear of toilet, then toilet training, about which I think I will take it up in the next next video. I will soon come up with the next video. I still haven't formed a proper timetable wherein, you know, I am going to upload a video. Now I understand it after seeing many of the other YouTubers, that you should be uploading on a proper timing and you should be uploading on a proper day. But it is difficult for me to find that day and the proper time, but maybe over time I will make up. To all my subscribers, please stay tuned, give me questions and tell me how you like this video. Thank you.